Hi Libra, happy birthday. Welcome to your season. And I know that whenever the sun goes into your sign, you often feel as though everything should be tip-top and everything should be wonderful and it should be wish after wish and stuff like that. At the minute, your energy might feel a bit low. And that's because since the 4th of October, Mars has entered your sign. And this can have an interesting effect on people. This can either make you feel incredibly energized or it can make you feel absolutely exhausted. And it can do both. It depends how hard you're pushing yourself. Libras in Libra season should generally take some time off because you should be enjoying yourself. You're a very social sign. You're a very... I once read that Libra does relaxation and recharging the best of any of the signs, and I agree with that. You should be looking after yourself, pampering yourself, because your season is first and foremost always about you. Now, this isn't the beginning of your season because Libra, Venus, your ruler, was in your sign, which I think can often feel more like your season than anything else. And now it's in Scorpio, which puts an interesting spin on your money. It gives you a change, possibly an income. With that new moon in your sign, there's possibly a new job. Or there's possibly, quite simply, the longing for something to be different. And that's where you really have to start looking at what you're going to do with your birthday year, what you're going to do with your new calendar year, what objectives you want to set for yourself, and what pain and suffering and miscommunication you would like to clean up. So with the Three of Swords, oftentimes it's the interference of something in your life that you're not quite happy with. But more often than anything else, the Three of Swords always represents self-inflicted pain. It's how the mind hurts the heart. It doesn't have to be anything external. Oftentimes, our mind does more heartbreaking towards ourselves than anything else. So what stories are you telling yourself? What's the narrative that you're beginning your birthday season with? Okay. I see. A lot of Libras at the minute, because we've had the Three of Swords, Ten of Swords, Four of Swords, Princess of Swords, Page of Swords, and then King of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. Whatever is going on in your personal life, concentrating on your career, concentrating on your finances, and focusing on getting your energy back, your mojo back, dressing well, showing up, looking well. This is your season. You're expected to do that anyway. You still have to show up. No matter what's going on in your head or your personal life or what past has come back to make you re-examine things and re-examine your standing. With the Four of Swords and the Page of Swords, your energy is very, very low at some occasions at the beginning of the month, and that is mostly to do with Saturn being in Capricorn, Pluto now direct in Capricorn, putting some pressure on you, and it's hitting you right in the ego. So this can be completely energy within your own mind, or this can be energy that is quite simply going on around you. What this is saying to me, Libra, is that you are exhausting yourself because you're not fulfilling the needs that are most important to you at the minute. For many of you, you feel as though you have been single for far too long, or you have had very, very unhappy relationships, and you would quite like to know when things are going to take off. If you're dealing with an earth sign, possibly somebody new in the workplace, they might come out quite quickly. But what this is for sure saying is that no matter what is going on in your personal life, your home life, for a lot of you, Saturn and Pluto both being in Capricorn, the tension at home within your families or the pressures within families has possibly felt quite strong. You may also, subsequently, because Libra's in a relationship, oftentimes your partner is an extension of you. if you're in a relationship with an earth sign, a Capricorn, a Virgo, Taurus, or you have a very strong friendship with them, they are going through quite a lot and need a lot of support. And I think you may be out of balance because you're in the supportive role and they can't quite give anything to you at the moment. But this is all to bear in mind as we approach the Aries full moon on the 13th of October, which is going to shift the energy surrounding your partnerships, it's going to shift the energy surrounding your home life, it's going to shift the energy everywhere around you, and you have to make some calls, you have to make some decisions, and of course you're going to be evaluating or re-evaluating romance or lack thereof. For a lot of Libras, a business relationship is coming in that is really quite special, but also a romantic one. Two of Cups and the Two of Wands. This Aries full moon brings the chance to enter a new relationship or meet someone whose relationship material could be an earth sign, could be someone you do business with, could be some sort of career-driven person. Doesn't have to be any of these things, but what I see here is a picture of somebody that Libra thinks is quite suave, quite attractive, possibly wears a nice watch, that kind of vibe. Someone who's really got their stuff together, and that's appealing to a Libra because you are so charming. You need someone who's really quite forward. Or somebody who's really, you know, I think ambition is one of the things that gets Libras really, 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 really intrigued. And you're very, very intrigued. And this is equal. So, Libra, that full moon in your partnership sector brings in love. Even if you feel at the minute like things couldn't get worse. So stay positive. For a lot of you, it's bringing in love. For a lot of you, you know, because not everybody is interested in romance, and the Two of Cups can to different people mean different things. It can be a new job that you find incredibly satisfactory. It can be a new business relationship. It can be a new friendship that you just feel like that. You feel super connected. You feel super excited. To quote the Kardashians, I'm so excited. But the Two of Cups and the Two of Wands is really very... We like to see those two cards together. It could be with a Scorpio. Death card and the Page of Wands. Could be with a Scorpio. Could also be with a fire sign. An Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But this symbolizes more so to me that Aries full moon starts up communication for singles and healing communication, make or break conversations in current relationships. I do think with the Death card that if you're in an unhappy relationship, Libra, and the Aries full moon comes up, the pressure from Pluto, which is connected to Scorpio, those relationships may simply shift and they may crumble if they're unhappy and if they're quite simply not meant to be. Even the Death card, because I'm very aware that pages are mercurial energy, and Mercury goes retrograde in Scorpio at the end of the month. Even relationships that are over mid-month can come around again, just in case you're exceptionally worried about that. I do see this as a good thing. You know? Two of Cups. Two of Wands. Very much moving forward. Scorpio season could bring you quite a lot of exchanges energetically with other people, but also over the phone. So, yeah, Page of Cups, couldn't deny that. Page of Cups and the Page of Wands, for sure. A lot of you are dealing with this texting back and forth, communications, lines of communications are opened. Page of Cups and the Page of Wands is so cute because it's so innocent, it's so sweet. So for a lot of you that's new, but for others of you that are in relationships, I almost feel as though the Death card can be a clearance in energies where you get closure and feel brand new again. Because Libra, I have to be honest, it is known that you are a sign where you stay in things for far too long if you're unhappy. And then Libras that are quite jaded by past experience and have negative perceptions stay single for long periods of time. But something is calling, or someone is calling. We have Judgment and the Death card, which means Scorpio energy is strong. So as you go into Scorpio season, beginning on the 23rd of October, your life is really starting to... It's really starting to take off, actually, in many ways. I think romantically, Libra, there is a strong sense of partnership. And your season does that for so many others that it would be odd if it didn't do it for you too. But, and there is a but, you may find with pressure from Pluto and pressure from Saturn to your sign, and then as we move into Scorpio season, there's pressure from Uranus, which is of course in Taurus, which is good because every year it's been, for the last 7 years, it has been Uranus putting pressure on you in your partnership sector. And what's so interesting for many Libras is that with Uranus being for the last 7 years, of course, it was in your partnership sector, which really liberated a lot of you guys in terms of your way of thinking. You know, you didn't necessarily crave that partnership in the way that Libras often do, but for some of you, it has left you with quite a fear that this is the way it will always be, and that time is up, or that you are not in the place, you're not in the circumstances, everything is off for romance. That is not so. The cards that we got at the beginning of the Libra reading are very much in tune with Saturn putting pressure on you to learn something. For a lot of you, there was a relationship in the past, possibly with another air sign, possibly with a Gemini, possibly with an Aquarius. It could be any sign. But basically what this has done to your internal monologue, the stories that you tell yourself, even the stories that you put forward, it's still kind of riddled with pain. Or it's riddled with a belief that the Three of Swords and the Ten of Swords, despair, destruction, heartbreak, is a narrative that you are starting to believe in. And what the problem actually is that many Libras have not discovered suitable practices to remove those type of thoughts. So meditation is very important for air signs especially, but for all people, meditation is proven medically to be very helpful. And you guys have so much going on in your head. Air signs need to be, you know, every so often you need to crack open a window and let the air flow through. And this is saying that you need to rest, because with Mars there, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. And with Saturn, although King of Pentacles, Saturn's energy in Capricorn is very beneficial because it makes us work harder at things. For those of you that have never meditated before, it comes up very strongly here, Libra, especially with having had so many planets in Virgo, that your energy has this real shift whenever you are able to just crack open a window of your mind. Things take off quite quickly. With the Knight of Wands here, things are particularly busy in work, and you need to have a clear head. You need to still be having these social interactions, social engagements, even though you feel like you have so much going on in your head, because it is a rebirth. That is what death is as well. Your season is a rebirth. You still have so many with the Two of Wands here, because that looks like the top of a birthday cake, I think. And the Two of Cups is kind of every Libra's dream. That's a lovely combination. And Scorpio season is going to be very significant for whatever this is taking off, because it's your second house energy. We have two twos, and then we have Judgment, which is also a 2. So we now know, because we have a little preview of Scorpio season, that it's just as significant. However, there's an element of the past coming in when Mercury goes retrograde, and we'll get more into that in the mid-monthlies. We'll also get more into the people here in the extended, the Scorpio, the Capricorn, the fire sign, the water sign, the air sign, and the air sign. Ooh, tarantula. And the camel. Somebody might have the hump, I don't know. But the tarantula is an interesting card, because it is spider season. It's that season whenever all the spiders start coming indoors, even though we wish they wouldn't, and you can't sleep at night because you feel a presence. Something or someone has a presence over you. They're either absent and you're wondering when they're going to creep back in, you're wondering when they're going to pop up, you're wondering when they're going to call, or you simply notice someone who's quite mysterious. And with spiders, in general, they kind of have a web around them. And you're wondering, if you get too close, are you going to get stuck? With the camel, you need to make sure your inner reserves, you need to make sure that you have something within you that you can draw upon, the way a camel stores water. You need to make sure that your emotions are in check. You can draw upon them when you need them. You need to be able to validate yourself from the inside out. As we move into Scorpio season, which is all about your worth, your value, and your moolah, you need to make sure that you are prepared to steer yourself. I know that you get very indecisive, and I know that Libra is quite susceptible to flattery, but you need to be able to regulate your own internal self-esteem, your internal guidance system. And I think a lot of Libras have had some heavy knocks through Saturn, particularly regarding your family relationships or the family of your partner. But dare we go near it? Dare we risk getting caught up in the web? For some of you, that could be a bad thing. For some of you, it could be a great thing. Deciding whether to walk across the desert, deciding whether to go into the web. There's very interesting energies of people around you, but somebody has definitely caught your attention, or vice versa. You certainly caught somebody else's. So Libra, what this judgment will be a very important decision of who you walk into Scorpio season and the rest of your year with. I think in the next 2 months, a lot of Libras are going to be feeling more like themselves, more social, more excited, more poetic, more creative, more adventurous. There are people around you that could be lifelong friends, water signs, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But as you make these connections and you begin this new life full of love, full of adventure, full of prospects, full of opportunity, full of very busy business, the past does come a knocking. What we think is completely a done deal may not be so. For death is death and judgment is judgment day, resurrection. So there's very, very, very interesting things coming up for Libra that we'll get more into in the extended. But for those of you that are single, it's looking really, really, really good. For new relationships, this is quite possibly my favorite combination of cards. And with Venus in Scorpio, Libra, a lot of you will have Scorpio in your chart. That's pretty good still, even though Venus is no longer in your sign. The effects will be lasting for those of you with Scorpio in your chart. And for those of you that don't forget Mars is in your sign, which is just as big a dynamo provided you keep your energy levels right. You have to eat right, you have to drink right, you have to take care of your fitness. Don't strenuously push yourself to the point you get hurt. I'm going to draw one more card for Libra. Oh. Pele, divine passion. Be honest with yourself. What's your heart's true desire? There's definitely passion coming up here. I sense it's with something that could possibly move quite soon, but hasn't moved for some time. That might put the fear of God in you. I don't know. When I see a spider move, it puts the fear of God in me. But your passions are coming to the fore. Love is coming to the fore. Romance is coming to the fore. And we have a resurrection. Join me in the extended below. And if not, I will see you in the mid-monthlies for our move into Scorpio season. Bye, Libra.